Kurt Knispel, born on September 20, 1921, in a small town called Salisflat in Czechoslovakia, Knispel spent most of his childhood in Milkovice, where his father worked in an automotive factory. In 1938, Sudetenland was annexed to Germany. Knispel disliked the factory work, and in April 1940, he joined the Wehrmacht as a volunteer. Knispel started basic training at the Panzer Replacement Training Battalion at Sagan. There he was subjected to his general military training, how to march, salute and use weapons such as the P-38 pistol or a Kar-98 rifle and hand grenades. After the basic training, Knispel went on to the Panzer training to operate Panzer I, Panzer II and Panzer IV. On 1st of October, he was transferred to a field unit of the 3rd Company of the 29th Panzer Regiment of the 12th Panzer Division, when he finished his training as a loader and gunner on a Panzer IV tank. During the training at Pultos, he first demonstrated his abilities as a gunner. He had a gift of total three-dimensional vision as well as an extraordinary reflexes. But to Knispel's dismay, he remained a loader. 22nd of June 1941, Knispel, Lance Corporal, had his first action when they attacked the Soviet Union as a loader of the Panzer IV tank. His division fought around Minsk and suffered heavy losses. Due to that, they were dissolved and his tank and its crew had been transferred to the 9th Panzer Company. On August 20, the 12th Panzer Division, including Knispel, was commanded to north of the wing of the Eastern Front Line, where he has destroyed his first tank, a T-34, at south of Leningrad. In December, Knispel has received his second class of Iron Cross after he destroyed 13 Soviet tanks. Middle of May, the 12th Panzer Regiment was sent back to Germany, where Knispel had a training for the long-barrel Panzer IV in Neuhammer. In July, his unit was transferred to the 4th Regiment and together with the 13th Panzer Division was sent to the Southeast Front. After becoming ill on November 19, he was admitted to a military hospital. After his recovery, he was sent to the Krakow with his company. He was promoted to the corporal around this time. Despite he had 12 confirmed killers as a gunner, he wasn't promoted to an Iron Cross First Class. After the Christmas holiday, on January 10, 1943, he had to report to the Panzer Training School in Pultos, where they created the 103rd Heavy Tank Division, including heavy Tiger tanks. In this new division, he was a Tiger E heavy tank gunner. From the beginning of July, in the Kirk's offensive, he managed to score 27 confirmed destroyed Soviet tanks, most of them from more than 2,000 meter distance. He was promoted to the surgeon and received the first class of Iron Cross. Until March 1944, the German army were continuously retreating, while Knispel destroyed additional 74 tanks. Despite during his military service, he was nominated for the Knight's Cross of Iron Cross 4 times. He never received it, as he wasn't the favorite of the National Socialist propaganda. This did not concern him, as he was not driven by fame or decoration. After his name was mentioned in the Wehrmacht report in May, he received the German Cross in gold and he was promoted to a sergeant major. 1944, May, the 503rd Heavy Panzer Division was sent back to Germany again to reorganize in Ohrdruf, and they had received 12 new Tiger Heavy II tanks with the early turret and a long barrel L-71 88mm gun. These new tanks had a lot more firepower than the Tiger E's. After the reinforcement, they were transferred to Normandy. They were involved fighting against the landed Allied forces. Knispel scored another 5 destroyed enemy tanks. The division was sent back to Paderborn for reinforced purpose and received 45 new Tiger II tanks. In September, the German Weekly News filmed the 503rd Panzer Division for propaganda purposes, and Knispel appeared on this footage as a sergeant major. Kurt Knispel was granted permission to go to his hometown. Little did Knispel know that it would be the last time he would see his parents. In the middle of October, Knispel and his division were sent to Hungary to participate in the Battle of Debrecen. Afterward, Knispel and his unit were involved 5 around Budapest against the Soviet-Romanian forces. The 503rd Heavy Panzer Division was transferred through the freshly created Feldherrnhalle Panzer Division. They took up part of Operation Conrad, which was aimed to relieve the encircled garrisons of Budapest in January 1945. Then they joined the Operation Zumbind. At the end of March, the Soviet forces started a new offensive and the retreating heavy tank division left Hungary. During his battles in Hungary, Knispel destroyed 37 Soviet tanks. On April 15, 1945, the 503 Heavy Tank Battalion was posted north of Vienna. The unit had suffered heavy losses in the battles around Dubnik. By April, only 8 Tigers survived. On 19 of April, Knispel scored another 3 T-34s and 1 IS-2 tanks. Few days later, he destroyed another 4 tanks in the morning. During the afternoon, the tank battalion with Knispel counterattacked and he destroyed another 3 enemy tanks. On April 26, the remains of the Hungarian 3rd were repositioned to Vrbovec, a town between Brno and Vienna. On the 28th, Knispel was promoted to Feldwebel. It means sergeant in English. The same day, Knut Knispel went to the battle for the last time in his life. He got into a fight around Vrbovec. He finally secured his 168th tank kill, but at this point he was getting overwhelmed by the Soviet armor. Immobilized and encircled, his Tiger II received a finishing blow. He was fatally wounded, and on April 28, 1945, he died only 10 days before the war is ended. After you heard this outstanding performance, you can ask yourself why Knispel wasn't famous. Because his lack of authority towards the higher ranks of the German command contributed towards his slow advancement through the rank. One occasion, Knispel assaulted an officer who he saw was mistreating a Soviet prisoners of war. Knispel had a tattoo, a goatee, and longer than regulation hair, but despite all of that, he was well liked by his fellow soldiers and his skills were never matched. At the age of 23, Knispel had more tank kills than Michael Wittmann, Ernst Bachmann, or Johannes Bolter or Otto Carius. The end of the sad story of the death of the legend has a positive, as Knispel's remains were found by historians in Vrbovec in an unmarked grave behind the church. He was identified by the military tattoo on his neck. A spokesperson from the Moravian Museum. On April 10, 2013, the Czech authorities confirmed that Knispel's remains were found among 50 other German soldiers behind the church wall in Vrbovec. It's likely that he will be reburied at the military cemetery in Brno. Rest in peace, Kurt Knispel.